Being an empath or a highly sensitive person comes with its own unique set of struggles, especially if you're going through a spiritual awakening or going through anything causing extreme chaos and confusion. It feels like you're losing control, losing yourself, and you question your sanity. And it's hard to break free once you're sucked into and absorbed all of that. All of that can feel like a curse or like you're paying back some kind of bad karmic debt. But I promise you, you are not. I'm going to share with you what these 4 main things are, why the cycle keeps repeating, and how to break it. Hey there, my name is Judi Jamieson and welcome to my channel, where I help people develop their natural intuitive and psychic gifts for insight, clarity, healing, guidance, next step answers, whatever it is that you need, by teaching you how to work with the spiritual world. So if the physical world is not cutting it for you, try tuning into the spiritual one. If that is something that you are interested in, I am your new virtual best friend, and you're going to want to hit the subscribe button that's right underneath this video. Make sure you hit that little bell too if you would like to be notified immediately as soon as a new video is posted. If you're interested more in learning how to connect with the other side for that insight, healing, and guidance, make sure you hang out to the end of the video because I have a freebie for you. All right, you ready? Let's get this party started. Number 1, being drained and exhausted easily or frequently. This comes from extreme emotional highs and lows from 2 different forms. One would be absorbing outside energy or influences, other people, social media, the news, you get it, along with your own internal thoughts. You know, you get lost in your head, you rip apart your own thoughts trying to make sense of it. So how do you fix that? Self-care and compassion for your own needs, wants, and desires. Think of it this way. If you're so good at helping others, why is it so difficult to help yourself? We are there for everyone and anyone who needs us, and we will gladly bend over backwards and sacrifice our own needs for someone else. It just comes naturally for us. But when you allow too much influence to come in or you give too much of yourself, it feels like you're depressed all the time. So one of the things that I do that I have found really helps me, if someone you love and care for very deeply, say one of your children, right? Because we would do anything for our children, is in the same situation or going through the same exact thing that you're going through, what advice would you give them? It's the ability, what you're really doing is separating yourself from the emotions or the negativity, right? So you're not one with it, and looking at it from a different perspective as if it's not ingrained or attached to you. This is also an excellent way for you to connect with your higher self. So whatever advice you would give to your loved one, give yourself the same advice and have the courage to follow it and know that you are worthy and deserving of it. So let me give you a quick personal example of what I do in my private life, or what I did or continue to do. So I would, again, separate myself from myself. I know that sounds weird. And think, if my daughter was going through this, what advice would I give her without enabling or feeding into whatever the issue was? And then just follow through with that advice. I look at it this way. I love her so much. Me being the parent, I have to lead by example, right? So if I don't have the strength to do it for myself, I do it for her. She is watching me, right? I have to be able to show her when she's feeling down and drained and exhausted, because she's also an empath, how to fix that and pick herself back up and dust herself off and keep going, how to refuel and recharge her batteries. Number 2, addiction issues. This comes from when we don't know how to co-process or how to protect our energy, so we look to the outside external world to quickly fix or numb whatever it is that's going on inside of us that feels like that overload, or whatever it is that we're feeling is lost or missing. Once you find something that gives you that quick fix, that instant gratification, what happens? You continue to do it over and over and over, and it becomes an addiction. It could be anything. It could be drugs, it could be alcohol, it could be food, it could be sex, it could be people pleasing. So how do you fix it? You have to find a healthy avenue, or I'll say, for lack of a better word, whatever it is that gets you off quickly or satisfies that need, and you channel your emotions into that. This is where learning how to be an alchemist comes into play. How to transform something that feels really shitty into rocket fuel for success. Dive into educating yourself with whatever your addiction is, combined with something that you are really really passionate or intrigued about, or whatever goal it is that you want to achieve. Get yourself addicted to something that focuses solely on you, being the best possible version of yourself that you can be, and dive into whatever higher power it is that you believe in for that source of encouragement and drive. All right, so let me give you a quick personal example. Again, what I did and what I continue to do in my personal life, just in the hopes that it'll help you out or maybe give you some ideas, or just knowing that this really isn't a curse and you can overcome this stuff. I used to go to AA meetings, and believe it or not, I used to go to Overeaters Anonymous meetings. Alcohol and food were the two things that I became addicted to numb pain. So what I did was I decided to channel all of that energy into basically beating the shit out of a punching bag 6 days a week. I educated myself on narcissistic abuse recovery and connecting with the other side for that healing, that insight, and that help. That was my higher power, because the physical world just wasn't freaking cutting it. Are you feeling me so far? Are you vibing with me? If so, give me a thumbs up to let me and others know that they're not alone. Feeling brave enough? Comment below with I feel you so far. 3, you question your sanity and think something is wrong with you. This comes from overstimulation from within ourselves. Yeah, we make ourselves a little nutty, combined with outside influences. Or I'll say the programming that you would have received growing up. Even being gaslit contributes to this. So being gaslit sounds, gaslight. That would sound something like someone telling you you're crazy, you're overreacting, you're being too sensitive, you're too emotional, just get over it, stop being so deep. It's somebody invalidating your thoughts or feelings. But because we're natural fact finders and truth seekers and healers, we tend to really get lost in shit, just trying to heal, fix, or make sense of things, because that's just what we do. So how do you fix it? First, you want to evaluate if this is your own thoughts or your ego talking to you. Or is it someone else's thoughts or programming that you absorbed? And then you reparent or reprogram that part of yourself. You have to tell yourself a different story and retrain your brain. It's not about lying to yourself or making something up. It's you getting in alignment with your soul and being comfortable with who you are without caring what others think. So let me give you a personal example. I like to remind myself that we are all unique and we are all on different paths or different journeys with different purposes, and that there are always 2 different ways to look at things. Just because someone doesn't connect with your level of deep empathy, compassion, or way of thinking does not mean something is wrong with you. It's just their opinion or viewpoint, and it really has nothing to do with you. It's just a reflection of their own internal world or belief system that they're projecting and putting onto you. 4, and I found that this seems to be a really big one with a lot of people, a string of codependent, toxic, or abusive relationships. This comes from our deep need and desire to help others. We attract broken, needy, and crazy, whatever the hell that means, type people. This also comes from, and you may not like it, our own lack or belief in power, value, and worthiness. In other words, you don't fully love and respect yourself deep down, therefore you tolerate a lot of bullshit. So you focus on others' issues or people that you can help save because you don't know how to save yourself. Maybe that was a big pill to swallow. I'm not judging you. That was me at one point. So how do you fix it? First, you got to identify and know what a toxic or codependent relationship really is. And if you are in one, you have to understand what gaslighting is so you're able to spot those undercover manipulation tactics or when someone is doing it to you. And most important, evaluate what a loving, nurturing, healthy relationship looks like to you or what it means to you. And here's the hard part. I know a lot of us are afraid of being alone, but you have to be okay with being alone for a little bit so you can heal yourself, so you don't carry your baggage into a new relationship and put it on someone else. You have to actually believe and know that you are deserving and worthy of something better. Otherwise, you're just going to continue to keep repeating the same shitty cycle, just with someone new. All right, so let me give you a quick personal example. So you know I'm not talking out my ass here. It took my ex-husband choking me and my next relationship getting hit in the face for me to make that, at the time, what felt like an extremely embarrassing and humiliating phone call to a local battered woman's organization. Through that therapy and counseling, I got the education that I needed to understand what abuse really looks like or what a toxic relationship really is. And then through working with the spiritual world or discovering my higher self, I was able to put to death pretty much the old programmed version of myself and then rise like a freaking phoenix from the ashes into my true self. I chose to stay single for quite a while, working on my own shit, even when friends tried to hook me up. But when I was ready to start dating, I set extremely high standards. I knew what I had to offer, and I expected the same and nothing less. Even though my friends told me I was being too picky or that Mr. Perfect doesn't exist, they were all basically telling me their belief system to lower my standards and settle. But I didn't. I stayed focused on my goals and my future as an independent person. And then that quality love walked in the door when I wasn't even looking for it. Has any of this helped you? Does it make any sense to you? Have you experienced the same stuff? Do you have more that you want to add to the list besides those 4? Because I'm sure there's a lot more. If you haven't already, give the video a thumbs up. Feel free to comment below anything that I may be missing, anything that you want to share, or anything that you're struggling with that you might want me to make another video about. I do get notifications when people comment, and I do reply back. If you know another empath who gets drained and exhausted easily, who suffers with addiction issues, who questions their sanity, and has a string of toxic relationships, and you feel like this short video might help them out, please share it with them. It's just a little something to help open your eyes and understand why these type things keep happening and how to break the cycle. All right, so I got a question for you. Would you like to learn the various different ways that you can connect with the spiritual world, how to develop your intuition and your psychic senses for that insight, guidance, healing, answers, direction, whatever it is that you need that will lead to your yellow brick road of peace, happiness, and abundance? Right underneath this video, there is a link to a free 30-day e-course that I have that will give you 30 different simple things that you can do to start plugging into the spiritual world to get those answers. You don't have to do all 30. The only reason I'm giving you 30 is because what works for one person may not work for another. So just pick and choose which ones seem to fit for you or seem like they would be the easiest thing to do. These are all things that you can do as you're going about your normal everyday life, and no one would ever know. So again, the link to that is right underneath this video in the description. Don't forget to comment and talk to me, and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hopefully I'll be seeing you again hopefully I'll be seeing you again right here real soon on this channel. Go have a high vibrational kick freaking ass day. Go have a good one.